Speaking of books that are completely incomprehensible, Mostly Harmless is like the fourth or fifth book in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't remember. This is the pleasant nonsense. Remembering things that happened to Arthur is pretty much the only thing that I can do at this point because it's so inexplicable by now. There's one more of these. It was written by Owen Colfer, the dude who wrote Artemis Fowl, which means that I now have three of his books in my lineup to read, and I'm gonna find out if the man is a hack fraud. No offense to him, it's just that Artemis Fowl kind of fell off in the middle there. We'll talk about that later. Uh, Mostly Harmless. So, after learning about the universe, we spent some time with Trisha. That's Trillian. Trillian is a human, and that is explained to us, but her actual name is Trisha. I have no idea why Zaphod started calling her Trillian. He just did. Um, she's an anchor on TV, and she felt like her life had lost all meaning. And then she meets an alien, but she didn't get to go with him. So she became an astrophysicist. Yeah, I don't know how those two things correlate. I'm pretty sure this book has like the alternate universe of if Trillian didn't go with Zaphod that first time. So, yeah. More aliens come because they've been monitoring Earth and they want her to calculate their horoscopes like on their planet. Ridiculous, but whatever. Um Ford Perfect is at the offices for the Hitchhiker's Guide because he breaks in frequently. There's new management. Everyone here is dead-eyed, and he's been given the restaurant column now, which he does not like. Um, Infinitum? What? Oh, Infinitum Enterprises bought out the guide. I couldn't remember what it was because my brain immediately went Infinidagger. Um, Arthur is on the planet. Now what? It's like Earth, but not really. Fenchurch is in a different hyperspace, and he's looking for the right planet. The guide has also changed. It shouldn't be the way it is because it has to pick up and go when done and set up somewhere else. Arthur's guide isn't super useful anymore. He's on a planet that has seen better days. Ford is in trouble, of course. Arthur decides to just find a livable planet because he doesn't think he's gonna find Fenchurch, so fuck it. A livable planet. Oh, this page is ripped in my journal. Um, Arthur moves to a planet called Bartledon, where the people at least look like him. He's bored and decides to move around by selling DNA cells, which I guess is kind of a hysterical thing to think about for the future. Because like at least dudes, because women, it's a lot more invasive for women because of course it fucking is. But dudes can like make money just by like giving sperm samples. It's kind of how they fund that whole industry of sperm donors. Yeah. Um, the Hitchhiker's Guide also has a level 13, which it shouldn't have. The ones who own Infinitum Enterprises, the Vogans, the ones who blew up Earth in the first book. Yeah. Um, Arthur makes a living as a sandwich maker on La Munella. Trillian finds him because she has his daughter because she decided to do the sperm thing and she ended up with his daughter. Her name is Random. She's an age. What age? An age. Uh, Trillian goes different time ways. Cause she can't raise Random now, so she leaves her with Arthur, and Random has mood swings because of course she fucking does. She doesn't seem to enjoy being in one place, and his watch confuses her. I don't know why. It just does. Um, Random doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere and feels like her mom abandoned her. He gets a package from Ford and Random takes it. Uh, so there was missing matter in the box. Apparently that's the guide, and now Random is able to go and live on Earth. I'm just reading you my notes because, as discussed, this is just pleasant nonsense. It was all funny, but I have no idea what happened. I don't remember any of this. Everything passed so long, and thanks for all the fish. I do not remember. And this will be like the third time I've read it. Um, yeah. Ford sent him the guide because it should have been safe, but Random, space time is cracking. Uh, so yeah. Um, Random goes to the Earth and finds Trisha, not her mom Trillian. She finds Trisha, and Random is still mad. So she tries to shoot Trisha, but she ducks, and then kills. Random kills that alien that Arthur has been accidentally killing this entire time. And Arthur somehow realizes that now he can die, and all of the possibilities of the universe crumble out of existence. That's how the book ends. And until Owen Colfer wrote this other one, that was it. The universe just crumbled out of existence. All because all because there was one guy that Arthur accidentally kept killing, I think as a whale and then as an old man. I believe he also mentioned being like a bug on on Arthur's windshield. The universe crumbles out of existence. I don't fucking know. Um Arthur is like the perfect protagonist. He's like the perfect archetype of, well, this can't get much worse. Because it can't. It truly can't. Like, I think in Arthur's personal clock, Earth blew up like 3 years ago. And then it came back, and then mice were like, hey, so you have the secret to the universe, and it's 42. And this whole fucking book series is a pipe dream. Like, what? Not a pipe dream, a fever dream. Like, oh my god. Zaphod is never really mentioned though, and the guide is also a loose end, but I guess we're just gonna ignore it. It doesn't feel unfinished, but I understand why there's another book. I hope it reads like a Douglas Adams book, because if it doesn't, I did not like part two of the Millennium series. I'm gonna leave it at that. Ghost in the Machine is the next book. That is the next book in the Skeleton Creek series. I believe I have 3 of those left. Um, yeah. So, the caption that I put on this one is, "What terrible things will Sarah convince Ryan to do now?" She's a bad friend. Um, so Ryan's going back to the dredge where his leg got tangled up, so he couldn't be in school for a couple of weeks because literally his whole ass leg almost got ripped off. Sarah is terrible. So he gets back to his room, but he doesn't remember how, and he also doesn't get caught. So at least there's that. The first page is Scrambled Thoughts, and now he explains it using the video Sarah recorded. Um, the names go unexplained. Sarah thinks she saw the ghost. There's warning to tell them not to come back, but also tell no one, trust no one. Ryan also maybe slept wrote on the walls. I don't know. His dad wants him up and back to school because he goes back to school in a week, and his dad is in a mood. He's involved with the dredge or whatever because he's one of the 10 names. Joe Bush is crossed out because he's dead. His dad is on the list. Francis Palmer is also dead. So he's researching the names, but there's nothing on his dad. The Apostle is a dead end. Gladys Morgan is the librarian. She also worked for the company that owned the dredge. Dr. Watts is a retired doctor and a recluse. Alchemists Hook, Newton, and Boyle are the scientists. Boyle liked alchemy. Daryl Bonner is just an untrustworthy guy. Yeah, the dredge is going to be burned down, by the way. It sounds like metal, so how one burns down metal is whatever. Ryan knows that Sarah isn't a great friend, and yet he persists in being friends with her. Whatever. His teachers at school are spying on them because, it's Sarah's fault that his leg got tangled up in the dredge. So his parents are understandably like, hey, maybe don't hang out with that girl. And Ryan's like, fuck it, I'm hanging out with her. And whatever. I'm sure it's in my notes somewhere. The group that they're investigating also is called the Crossbones, and there's a Crossbones meeting, so Sarah's gonna break in. This whole mystery thing about all of this starts to feel a little bit convoluted, but that's because I don't think children's mystery should ever be this complicated, but whatever. His parents are also worried that Ryan will end up being a recluse weirdo. He took away his only friend, so someone tried to hack into Sarah's site, so that's fun. Dr. Watts gets killed. Sarah boneheadedly goes to Ryan's house. She's not allowed to go over there. Like, she's got a one-track mind, and I don't think she actually cares about their friendship. I think to her, Ryan is just a means to an end or whatever. Sarah left her camera at the meeting so that it could record without her getting caught, and Ryan thinks his dad might be a murderer. Henry, their Ryan's uncle, I believe, he went to the dredge and then his leg got shattered, and he wants to know the secrets of the dredge about if there really is gold there, because apparently there's gold there. This is what I reasoned from this story by the end of it. Joe Bush, the guy who got killed, the ghost, was stealing gold. He died by accident. There is gold in a secret room, and Henry wants the gold. He accidentally killed Francis, and the apostle is also dead. No one in the society knew about the secret room, and Henry created ghosts to keep people away. That's why he's been coming to Skeleton Creek to visit his family every now and again, because he kept trying to look for the gold. He also killed Watts. He also probably put the words in Ryan's room, so he wasn't sleep writing. So Henry gets arrested. They do get the gold, and the park ranger is Joe Bush's son. Joe Bush's age is never mentioned, so it's reasonable. They use the gold to like renovate the town, and Sarah and Ryan can also be friends again. And I think their college fund is also funded by the gold. I just want to put this out there. The U.S. Federal Reserve, I believe, I think that's what it's called. They have a certain amount of gold that is ours and other countries in vaults, in one vault, I believe, in Fort Knox. Like, you can't just. I don't think you can just find gold in a place and be like, oh, look at all this gold that we have, and the U.S. government not say something about that. Like, I don't think you can just do that. Um, so it's not that I don't like it. Just listen. Small towns suck. Ryan is codependent. Sarah sucks. Alchemy requires a secret society, and his parents are the worst. So let's take these one by one. Number one, small towns suck. They're great in theory, but in practice, a lot of people move away, making the town even smaller. And for me, small towns equal racism. If you aren't lucky enough to escape neurotypicals, everyone seems to have a religious trauma. No small towns, please. Number two, Ryan and Sarah have a toxic friendship. I keep a journal too. My best friend is mentioned, but so are my other friends, and I don't even write as frequently as Ryan does. He's a pushover, aware of being a pushover, with no attempt to fix it. He is annoyed by Sarah's constant antics, but also enables her and feels lonely without her. You attended an entire school and you only have one friend. Sarah is all around terrible. She is the reason Ryan's leg is broken, and yet she still does dangerous things and actively endangers herself and his child with a broken leg. He has a cane and he's like limping at school. Number three, alchemy requires a secret society? Aside from Dr. Watts, what purpose did all of these people serve? The next book is probably about that because I think it's called Crossbones. But still, in a vacuum of 1 and 2, what purpose did all these people serve? If only Joe and Dr. Watts knew, perhaps Henry wouldn't have found out. Secret societies are stupid to me. Number 4, Ryan's parents suck. Yes, they're right. Ryan is a secretive little shit, but they actively seek to cut him off from the world and make in no attempt to hide their surveillance. Like, this book takes place in the early 2000s, so all of those child lock features that they install on Ryan's computer, like the parental surveillance things, he can easily turn them off. Like, if you monitor your kids like that, it could possibly make them more secretive. Not always, but it did for Ryan and Sarah. Then at the end, cause gold, everything is just great. Like, we forget Sarah causes injury, and his dad's like a loving individual now because he was also cold at the start of this. There's 4 more of these, and I have all of them. Hopefully character development doesn't fail. I only got to this one when I originally read these books. This is also a series that I read when I was a kid. So we'll see what happens, I guess. the mystery's kind of solved, and Skeleton Creek is gonna be like a good town now, sort of. So I have no idea what the fuck this is supposed to be about now, but I guess I'll find out. I don't know.